We discussed in the previous video, using the hourglass approach is going to be really valuable for us to connect to a broader field of study and a broader audience. And it's also going to help the reader understand what those broader impacts are of our work and of our respective writing. We also briefly discussed using different adjectives and using your writing in which to stimulate the reader through their different senses. And this touches back on the importance of understanding our reader and in understanding that these are the folks who we're writing for. We want to make sure that these readers are feeling connected to our writing both early and often. And at times, we can even provide them with our own personal experience that helps them to relate to the story. And this in turn can help them put themselves into the writing, put themselves into your shoes, so that they really understand what you're describing in your writing. Now, in addition to this hourglass approach and providing these appropriate levels of detail, another way that we can connect to the reader, and that's important when we're thinking about constructing our narrative, is following a common structure that our audience is going to be familiar with. And if we think about any type of writing or any type of movie or show, there's generally some type of a flow that we follow that makes us comfortable with what we're going to be expecting. And so this generally starts with some type of introduction in which we're learning about the problem of discussion. We're learning about the topic. In this case, we've discussed our thesis statements, and this is oftentimes where we're introducing the ideas that we're going to discuss in our writing. After this, we typically propose a means of solving the problem that we've presented or addressing the issues that we're writing about. And for science, this is oftentimes our method section. And then following this, we generally like to exhibit how this problem has been solved, or if it's been solved, and if it has or has not, this is then going to lead into our discussion about how this problem and potential solution fits into the broader picture. And it's going to leave the audience with the next step after this particular piece of writing. Now, in thinking about these different sections of writing, this common flow from introduction to discussion, we need to think about how to relate these different sections to one another. And there's no one specific way in which we can do so, but the goal is to make it seem like it's a flawless narrative from the first word to the last word, and that we have these smooth transitions between different topics, different paragraphs, different ideas, so that way the reader's going to stay on this path that we're creating for them. And so these transitions follow lots of different formats. We can use the repetition of keywords to link different areas of our writing together. We can use different transitional words that then indicate to the reader whether we're continuing to develop an idea or if we're moving on to a next one. But one of the keys is, again, not only connecting our topics to these different fields of study, but also connecting the writing within itself. Now, one other important consideration when we're thinking about the reader is this idea of making sure that they are comfortable with the writing itself. Whether it's the topic of interest, the tone of the writing, or the language that we're using, we want to be as inclusive as possible so that way we have as broad an audience as we can. Randy Olson describes this in great detail in Don't Be Such a Scientist, which I encourage you to check out if it's not part of your curriculum. But he discusses the idea of using logic compared to emotion in our respective writing. And as we can imagine, the more emotional a piece is, the larger potential audience we have. Now, that's not to say that we should avoid logic, but what it does suggest is that we don't need to just use logic in our writing. We need to have an important balance here. So if we want to delve into this a little bit deeper, consider doing this exercise. So think about a field of study that you struggle with when you read a paper or you listen to a talk. And then think about what is going to make this more understandable for you, which in turn is going to make this more interesting to you. And then how might this change the readership or the impact that it has? Now, one of the challenges that we face with science is that it can be very technical in nature. And there can be a lot of vocabulary in which is unfamiliar to many people outside of their respective fields. I feel this way many times when I read different scientific papers and need to spend time looking up what particular words mean. And we want to avoid that if possible for our readers, because if they need to either skip over words or look those words up, it may detract from their interest in the writing itself. So if we can reduce the amount of jargon that we use, this is ideal. And to limit our technical writing to the areas that actually need to be technically sound, not suggesting that we don't need to follow appropriate grammar or sentence structure, but that writing does not need to be dry as in many technical reports. And one way to make things more relatable for our audience is to use different metaphors or analogies that they can relate to, things that they're familiar with. But again, the key here is to have balance. We don't want to sacrifice rigor for our readership. We want to have an equal balance between creativity, the interesting language that's going to connect with our readers, as well as the discipline to make sure that we're staying on task, we're fitting within our page limits, and that we're making sure that the sentence structure is appropriate. And so make sure that you're considering this balance. You're not making something too dry, but you're not making something too creative. And one way to check to see if you're on the right track is to give your writing to other folks. Let them read what your writing is and ask them for input. Is it too technical, or is it not technical enough? What is your goal for this particular writing, as we've talked about? Who are your audience? And then, what is the language in the writing that you're going to provide them to express the ideas that you're interested in?